Now may the words of my mouth and the meditation of our hearts be always acceptable to you, O Lord, our strength and our Redeemer. Amen. Please be seated. To protect and serve. That is the motto of the Los Angeles Police Department. In many situations, we can agree that it does not always do what it says. I grew up in Los Angeles, especially during the riots of 1992 that followed the outrage of seeing the footage of Rodney King's irrational punishment and the lack of discipline that followed from the officers in question. The cry heard from many at that time burned into my memory. From the shouts, "No justice, no peace." The events that led to that uprising and the chaos that proceeded from the police that were there were not good examples of what it means to serve and protect. Now, in bringing this up, it is not my intention to bash the police, pun intended. My intention in bringing that up is only to highlight that not all things can be taken at face value. To protect and serve. These are the pillars of hospitality. In Greco-Roman culture, hospitium is the term used that describes hospitality as the divine right of the guest and the divine duty of a host, which not only afforded a guest to be served and have shelter, but also to have protection. Early English law also provides rules for hospitality under another's roof that include protection and refuge. For those familiar with the fantasy series Game of Thrones, if you share your salt and your bread with someone while they are in your home and in your care, they are supposed to have safety. And there are many ways of making a guest feel welcome. And as we could see historically and even through fiction, those rules carry over. For the most part, in our context, when it comes to a guest in our home, the implication is that they have protection, especially when any and everyone can be quick to file a lawsuit these days. However, the laws regarding hospitality, the portion that include service, it varies. Our gospel today looks at welcome. Our gospel today looks at hospitality. Jesus visits Martha and Mary. Biblical scholarship has agreed that this is the Martha and Mary of Bethany, siblings of Jesus' friend Lazarus, making them all chummy. Despite this, we are still in the 10th chapter of Luke, and the chapter opens up with Jesus sending out the 72 to help prepare for his arrival and ministry. He tells them, "Carry no purse, no bag or sandals, because they will have everything they need. And everything they need will be taken care of through hospitality. Hospitality in the homes which they will visit." Jesus says, "Whatever house you enter, first say, 'Peace to this house.' And if a person of peace is there, your peace will rest on them. But if not, it will return to you. Remain in the same house, eating and drinking whatever they provide." Jesus continues and gives warning to those houses that do not provide welcome to his messengers, indicating that their fate will eventually experience dire consequences. Now, clearly, hospitality is at the forefront of what we have today. Even our first reading shows us another version of the story of Abraham and Sarah being blessed with a child, even though there is no way possible that this would happen. Both Sarah and Abraham are, as the scripture says, old and advanced in age. This blessing was bestowed on them as they provided excellent hospitality. They provided excellent hospitality to their guests. There were 3 individuals. Now, their identity is not revealed, but all evidence and legend associated with these guests all point to them representing the Lord. We see here, different from our gospel, more of the specifics regarding how guests are welcomed. Yeast was measured for each of them to make bread, water to wash their feet, greetings and salutations, beef and milk. Because they provided such excellent hospitality to who was the Lord in secret, they received a blessing. The beginning of one of the greatest covenants that says, Sarah shall bear you a son, and you shall name him Isaac. I will establish my covenant with him as an everlasting covenant for his offspring after him. Our ancestral line draws back to this. The children of Abraham thus become as numerous as the stars in the sky. Now, based on everything that we've heard, the question may arise: are you a Mary or are you a Martha? Similar to the magazine articles that you might find at a checkout stand or even online through what's called clickbait that tries to lure you into a particular website, as if we're programmed to want to have to choose to be a part of another us and them situation. There is Mary, who sat at the Lord's feet and listened, and Martha, who had many tasks, who came to him and put Mary on blast for not helping. If you recall, I started earlier by saying we can't take things at face value. There is peace in this home, and the guest is being served. The tenets of hospitality are not broken, nor are they in question here. However, we must not fall victim to choose. More importantly, pit these women against each other. I would like to say that in the past, but it sometimes even happens now, where passages like this are used to provide fodder for suggested gender roles, or saying things that women should not be active and quiet as they sit at a man's feet. And even if we're not that extreme, we still may look at this and conclude that Mary is displaying the behavior we should be modeling because Jesus defends her. Let's defend Martha for a bit. First off, why was she not invited to join in? Why didn't Jesus say, "Hey Martha, come sit for a bit"? Also, in what context does a host complain to a guest about something another host should be doing unless they were friends and this was a casual dialogue between buddies. If it were that serious, wouldn't Martha just talk to Mary directly and instead ask her for help? What we see is Martha being a tattletale, and no one likes a tattletale. Martha, well, I'll tell you something about Martha. Martha is actually pretty awesome. Martha tells Jesus when her brother dies, "Hey man, you should have been here." And then also, Martha is legendary. In the feast day of Saint Martha, they celebrate that, and also the legend that she slayed a dragon. Yeah, it's not all about St. George. Legend has it she encountered a creature near the bank of a river and compelled it to be still. While this happens, she took her girdle and tied it up while everybody else came and finished it off. As this is a legend, the way this creature is described, it actually fits the description of a crocodile, so maybe not a dragon, but still very important. Not all things should be taken at face value. One of the most flagrant comparisons to come out of the Mary and Martha useless identification debate would have some describe Mary as the right kind of Christian. If that sounds wrong, well, I agree with you. Because I feel that Christianity is as diverse as it is complex. It bothers me to no end when I hear that, or even more recently, when the Supreme Court of the United States overturned the historical landmark case of Roe versus Wade, and seeing the response of those who disagreed when they said that this action was an exercise in Christian law. Now, I might not be the smartest man, but I do know that both the law and the prophets are fulfilled in Jesus. And what I deem to be Christian law comes from our greatest commandment, to love God and to love our neighbors as ourselves. Not all things should be taken at face value. Both Mary and Martha are wonderful women. And Jesus has been with them on many occasions. So they must be doing something right. So let us go forward without putting these two women in a category. Let us see that they are not against one another, nor are they models of what some may call proper behavior. Let us not get between family and friends. And remember to always provide welcome. That includes service and refuge to all who come through your doors. Amen.